Many listeners are probably wondering, what is social commerce? Can we explain that in very simple terms?
It's the intersection of social media and e-commerce. And at the simplest level, it's where you're able to purchase your products directly from a social media website versus going to asianmediaessentials.com. You're buying from TikTok shop, you're buying from your Instagram shop, things of that nature.
Okay. Yeah, but this also entails you having already a website, because these social media will probably link to your site in the end, right? Or you don't have to have a site.
It depends. It depends on the social media platform itself. Most of the time, yes, you have a website that has an API feed where you can have essentially a clone of your website, but on the social media platform. But there is an extension. Like, it's not just like where the transaction takes place. There's a whole umbrella that's inclusive of ways in which you can sell on social media your commerce products, and commerce specifically are physical goods. So there's rules, restrictions, requirements, and so it depends on the platform. There are some platforms that can allow you to create a product that's not available on a website throughout an API, but there's also different like regional restrictions. So there's a caveat to this, but yeah, most of the time you have a website. And the benefit of employing a social commerce strategy is if you don't have like a developer that can make sure that everything is rendering across every type of phone device, every type of internet browser, because it's a social media platform, it's already super fast, super optimized. There's no external page you have to do. It just pulls the details and condenses it down to the most pertinent of information so that someone can make a quick decision and buy, versus all the friction allowed where if they leave Instagram or TikTok to go to a website and your website doesn't load fast enough, or your website has something broken, any friction you add to the user's experience is going to prohibit them from making the purchase.
Okay. And when we talk about social commerce, does that mean that increasingly the share of sales happening on social media is going up, while or is it kind of additive to what you already have on your main site, or is taking away from sales that you would typically have on the main e-commerce site?
That's such a good question, and like the two words that stick, that depends. Depending on how your strategy is set up, social commerce can be like a new channel, like an Amazon, almost how like you have some, like there's always going to be a halo effect where if you have an Amazon brand and say that Amazon brand is doing 10 million a year, your .com is doing like 5 million a year, running ads to your .com is going to generally have like a 20-ish, 25% lift on your Amazon and vice versa. So there is crossover. But honestly, in what we've seen in like successful deployments, especially like if this is a category you're really interested in, pay attention to what's happening in China and Japan and South Korea. They are 5-10 years ahead of us in the social commerce game.
Wow, really?
It's embarrassing, but also like I get a lot of credit for being a futurist in terms of social commerce. And honestly, full disclosure, there is nothing futurist about it when I'm just looking at the blueprint of where they are now.
Oh, wow.
It's where
could you give some examples? Like what are they doing differently than the West currently?
Yeah, okay, great. Well, TikTok, everyone knows TikTok. It has a different name in China, but it's blowing up. What's interesting is what has been trending on TikTok in the US was trending 5 years ago of TikTok in China.
Wow, really? Okay.
Oh, it's so verbatim, like dances and silly stuff and fancy
all those gigs.
Beautiful women.
Yes.
That was years ago. What's working now in China is a lot of entertainment and science and education.
Wow.
So it's not just like doom scrolling, it's enhancing your education, enhancing your life. And other it's really, really obvious. And when you look at this, you're like, wow, oh my gosh, this is so predictive. It's like history repeating itself.
Okay.
Other things that are a really big difference. Influencer marketing, we've been doing that in the West, sure. Nowhere at the level they're doing in the East. There is an influencer who made like $17 million in 24 hours of sales. There's a great video, like they do it at such mass scale. Yes, there are a billion people, but they're doing it in a way that it's coordinated efforts. You can buy directly online, live shopping, the group social dynamics. are
Sorry to interrupt.
yeah.
Live shopping is something that I heard about maybe 6 months ago, and
Oh,
apparently it's something big in Asia, right?
yeah.
It's like massive there, but
Yes.
we don't see that very often in the West.
We have QVC, we have like the Home Shopping Network where they're like infomercials and it's on a TV. It's not done in a social media website fashion. So the closest we can see are these like home buying networks, which are significant. We have clients that are on these shows, and we know that it's like in Amazon, it's a different channel. It's a wholesale environment where they do have successful sales.
Yes.
But the way they do it in the East is like you'll have someone saying like, okay, hey, everyone that wants to buy like this Lipton, it's normally $12. Right now it's $6.99. $6.99. Oh, we've already sold out 500. Next.
Wow.
Now I'm choosing the next product. It's done like an auction type of fast-paced environment, and the communal piece, the social piece is so brilliant and so neglected in the West that like you look at it and think we're dinosaurs.